Hello and good evening. Welcome to our Tuesday night mindfulness Zen practice. And tonight is the last class of our breathing breathwork practice. So what I'm going to try and do is just give a brief summary of most of the different techniques that we've practiced over these last 13 weeks. This is the 13th lesson. So the reason why I felt this is important is because breathing is like kind of like a solar power generator for powering our relaxation and calmness, and it's free and it's always available, so you can call upon it at any time. And also, in any meditation or mindfulness or relaxation or calming technique, usually or pretty much mostly depend on the breath as its core component. So actually breathing is like the most fundamental technique that we can use to help our body to relax and calm down. And so now we have a lot of scientists and doctors and interested in studying the impact of breathing slowly on our body and on on our mind. So what they found was that it's actually very helpful to reduce anxiety and stress, and also does help a lot with insomnia. Also, it has been shown to be helpful to people with depression and PTSD. So a whole host of benefits. Also, it helps to lower your blood pressure. So there are many benefits of breathing, which all we have to do is learn how to do it for free. You know, nobody is going to charge you a lot of money for breathing this air. Well, at least not yet. So, however, before we get too carried away, breathing well or learning how to breathe well is a tool. It's a technique that we can learn to benefit ourselves, both in body and in mind. But it is not a cure-all for everything. But I think if it helps you, say, even reduce your stress and anxiety by, say, 10%, for example, or helps you cope with your depression a little better, 10% or so, reduces your PTSD by 10%. If it improves your blood pressure, that means if it lowers your blood pressure by that amount, without having to pop a pill, and all pills have side effects, and not having to pay anything, it's free, why not try it? I think the benefits, the cost, if you think about the cost benefits, the benefits definitely outweigh the cost. All you have to do is just invest a bit of time. So, just to remind ourselves, this mind-body connection is very important, because that's how our breath influences our body and our mind. So, if you think of it in a conventional, usual manner, when you're happy, you tend to smile. Your mouth turns up and your eyes crinkle, and if you're relaxed, you tend to kind of like really chill out, and then your breath will start to calm down. Let's say you've had a long day and now you just had dinner and just putting your feet up in front of the TV or reading the newspaper or a book, everything starts to calm down. And if you are in a very kind of agitated state of mind, you're stressed out, you're angry, then you start to breathe faster, and more shallow. So our emotions or our mind do have an impact on our body, on our physiology. What most or many people are not so aware of, some of you are probably aware of it, that it also works the other way around. So if you train yourself to breathe more slowly, like we talked about coherent breathing, where you're breathing like 6 times a minute, then that stimulates the vagus nerve, which activates the relaxation response. Then you feel more relaxed. On the other hand, if you start to breathe, if you want to be stimulated, you start to breathe faster and more shallowly, like you definitely feel the sympathetic nervous system starting to get into gear and getting you ready for some whatever action you want to be in. So the mind affects the body, and also the body affects the mind. So that's how we can use our breath to influence how we wish to be. If we're in an anxious state and stressed state and we want to kind of calm ourselves down, then we do that. So even in people with breathing problems, that's very interesting. This can also be observed. People with COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. That means they can't breathe. Their lungs are damaged, so they can't breathe properly, or oxygen doesn't go in properly, or they can't absorb the oxygen, and they tend to. But what they find also, because of that, or associated with this disease, about 60% of these patients also suffer from depression or anxiety. 60%. That's a pretty high number. So breathing has many benefits, and even if it helps you a little bit, like say 10%, and I feel it's more, but let's just be conservative, I think it's worth it. It's free, and all you have to do is like spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day doing it. So let's start with just I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, I think. So let's just start and see how. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to message. And also, I'm going to start putting the whole bunch of these breathing practice videos on YouTube under a playlist. So I'm working on it right now. So once I've done that, I'll share the link on our page. So please like our page and follow it so that you'll be notified whenever that goes up. So the first thing is, let's connect with our breath. So one palm of your hand, middle of your chest, the other palm on your lower belly. And what we're trying to do here is use our diaphragm to breathe. This is what we call diaphragmatic breathing. And that is actually, our diaphragm is actually the primary muscle. Our diaphragm and the muscle around here is the primary muscle for breathing. The secondary muscles are our neck, our kind of upper chest, and our shoulders. And they're not as strong. So you'll find that if you're trying to move your whole rib cage up and down, pretty soon you get tired. So our diaphragm, which sits just just below our stomach, I think, is a very, very strong muscle. And when you contract it, it flattens out, and then you can draw a breath in. So let's relax and close our eyes, sitting upright with a relaxed posture, letting your shoulders drop. Breathe out first. Then as you breathe in, expand your lower belly. consciously if you want. You should feel it expand with your hand that's on the lower belly. Then as you breathe out, let it contract. So letting the breath travel all the way down to your lower belly. It's as if you're kind of breathing through your lower belly. In and out. So this is the kind of breathing we want to do when we do all these exercises. In, out, in, and out. So just feel your breath. Rather than thinking about how it should feel, see if you can just feel it directly, the movement of your lower belly as you breathe in and out. If your upper chest moves a bit, that's okay. Don't worry, don't stress out too much about that. It'll take some time to kind of get the hang of it if you're new to it. But if you've been doing it for a long time, like I have, I just naturally breathe using my lower belly pretty much all the time. Just relax into the breath. Okay. Return your hands back down to the original position. Okay, so the next is a technique that's endorsed by the US Navy SEALs, this elite military fighting force, and it's called box breathing, or some of you may know it as square breathing. So they use it before and after combat to calm themselves down and to be able to kind of focus, because that may be the kind of very fine line between actually getting killed or staying alive. So box breathing is, as you would imagine, you just imagine a box or square. If you have some tiles in your house on the floor, if your floor is tiled, then you can see it's a square. And what we do is along the top, we go along the top, go around the square. Okay. As you go along the top, you breathe in and count to 4 seconds. Then you hold as you come down the side for 4 seconds. Then when you go around the bottom, you breathe out for 4 seconds. Then you hold for 4 seconds. Then you continue again, breathing in 4 seconds, taking 4 seconds to breathe in, hold 4 seconds, taking 4 seconds to breathe out, hold 4 seconds, and then in again. Okay, so let's try. Just sit in a relaxed position. First, breathe out, and I'll count for the first few times. Then after that, you can try it by yourself. So, breathing out. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Now try on your own. Okay, so that's box breathing. And perhaps you might feel a little bit more relaxed and more calm, even with this very, very short period. Now the next I want to do with you is this ancient yogic breathing called pranayama. And basically it's just breathing through one nostril at a time. So what I find easiest, there are many different ways of doing it, putting your fingers, but I find it's easiest to put my first and my second finger here and use my ring finger and my thumb to close each nostril off. So what we want to do is the nostril that we breathe in, we close, then breathe out through the other one. And after we breathe out, we breathe in through the same nostril, then close it, then breathe out through the other one. So after you breathe in, you close the nostril. And then you breathe out through the other one and in again. Then you close that, then out through the other one and in again. Okay, it's probably easier if we just do it. So, putting your your forefinger and your second finger on the bridge of your nose. Let's just close, breathe out, then close the right, then breathe in the left, close left, breathe out to the right, breathe again in through the right, out through the left, in through the left, close left, out right, in, close right, out left, in left, close left, out right, in right, close, out, open left, out, in left, closed, out right, in right, close, out left, in left, close, out right, in right, close, out left, in left, close, out right, in right, close, out left. So let's do one more cycle. In left, close, out right, in right, close, out left. Yep, so this is a, I can't remember, 500-year-old tradition, maybe more than that. But originally, I read yoga was based on breathing rather than all these, all the many poses that many yoga studios do today. It was mainly focused on the breath. So, okay, So when I'll try to answer the questions when we come closer to the end. The other one that I'd like to do with you, which has a lot of research done into it, and it seems to balance the internal functioning of your physiology, your breathing, your heart rate, and it's called coherent breathing. And the way that we do it is to breathe around 6 times a minute. So that means 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. So that makes it basically 6 breaths a minute. So, and when you do this, it should be kind of fairly smooth cycle. No pause between breathing in and breathing out, not holding your breath in any way. So this also helps us to calm down. So shall we try? So just sit relaxed. And one way that you can, if you don't want to look at a timer, it doesn't matter if you're a bit slower or faster. If you're like you're breathing 5.5 seconds or 4.5 seconds or 6 seconds, it's not that sensitive. We don't have to be so precise. But one way that you can count with yourself, which I find is fairly close, is that 1 second is like you can count 1001. That's about 1 second. 1002. That's 2 seconds. 1003, 1004. So each time you say 1001 is 1 second duration. So let's try it. First, let's completely breathe out. Then breathe in 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Out 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. In 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Out 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. In 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Out 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. In 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Out 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. In 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Out 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. In 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Out 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. In 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Out 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Just try it in silence for a few minutes. Okay, so that's coherent breathing, or some people also call it resonant breathing. And it's actually recommended by a lot of therapists. And one of the things that they do recommend is, so that's easy to remember, is 3-6-5 breathing, and it is using this resonant breathing technique. So 3 stands for doing it 3 times a day. 6 is 6 breaths a minute, and 5 is to do it for 5 minutes. So 3 times a day, duration is the timing, the rhythm is 6 breaths a minute, and duration is 5 minutes. So doing it 3 times a day, so that's 15 minutes a day. And 3-6-5 means doing it for 365 days a year, which means doing it for every day. So hopefully that may help you to remember. So when do we use these breathing exercises, seeing it as a tool that can help us? So the first is when you're starting to feel stressed or anxious, and you can, when you are mindful, or when you're aware that that's happening, then you can use the box breathing, you can use the pranayama, the alternate nostril breathing. You can also use this coherent breathing. Anything that helps your breath become more regular and more breathing at a slower pace will stimulate your vagal nerve and also activate your relaxation response, or the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's one thing. The other thing is that you can also do this regularly, because stress doesn't always come to us in like big chunks. Sometimes it just builds up, little things, you just missed the train, you got to the platform too late, and then when you get out, you just missed the bus. It's all these little things that kind of and then it ratchets up the stress. So then after a while, it just builds up to this big lump. So what you can do is during the day, also you can try and practice this to kind of reduce this kind of levels of minor stress, to take it away, so it doesn't become like a big thing by the time you go home, or or even before you go home it builds up. So that's the other thing. And the third thing is that if we do this regularly, it does help us to become kind of more resilient, and this is associated with being mindful, because if you're aware of your breath, then you're actually more mindful, more present in this moment. And when you're more present, then you begin to be able to see things more clearly without getting carried away in your head. Okay, so these are the few things that we can do. So we have a question here on the feed, and I hope you don't mind me reading out, Chris. I feel so isolated and alone these days. I was picked on at work today, and it's adding to my anxieties. I don't know what to do. So, yeah, I'm sorry that you got picked on at work, and also it's adding to your anxieties. But I think that also the situation here or the situation that we're in doesn't help us very much, because we're all more isolated nowadays. The government of Malaysia announced the extension of lockdown until February 18th, which is past Chinese New Year. So as you probably know, the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year in Korea, is the time where friends and family get together. It's like a big social occasion, which is obviously not a good idea during this time of the COVID. So, it is a right decision. However, what it does accentuate our sense of isolation and loneliness. And human beings are hardwired to be social. So I think one of the things that you can do is to try to reach out to your friends and talk to them. Somebody you can trust, and a friend who will not judge you, somebody who will not tell you to snap out of it. And actually, maybe this is I don't know if this is the right place to discuss this, but if you wish, you can contact me via Messenger or any other messaging app, and we can set up a time where we can have more of a one-to-one. That's, you know, I'm happy to do that if you think it helps. But in general, our situation right now does not help us feel more relaxed or more calm, because this pandemic, this virus is basically invisible. It's in the air, and you don't know who's got it, because somebody who's got it may be asymptomatic, and then it can just be transmitted onwards, and then the next person that gets it may have very severe symptoms. So that also adds to our level of stress and anxiety. So if you're feeling stressed out and anxious, just realize that that's normal, because these are very anxious and stressful times. It's not like everything's, you know, hunky-dory, which it isn't. It's not like everything's okay, because everything is not okay. So please, yeah, if you want, we can talk more. But one thing that I think is very important is your support network. Whether it's your family, your brothers and sisters, your partner, or your close friends, try talking to them. You know, it's a friend that you may, maybe your best friend, and just say, look, you know, I just want to talk, just listen. And then it really does help if you can kind of pour your heart out. So I think that's I would suggest would be the thing to try. Of course, other things will be this relaxation techniques, whether it is this breathwork practice. There are other relaxation techniques, and those techniques which help you to move your body may be also quite helpful. Like exercise is actually an excellent medicine for our body. And one doctor said, if we could bottle up all the benefits of exercise in a pill so that nobody would have to exercise, and we could sell it, they could become billionaires or trillionaires, because there's so many benefits of just a short period of exercise. And it doesn't have to be intensive. Go for a walk, half an hour. So I'm very lucky in the sense, even though I'm on my own, because nobody can come due to the COVID situation, I have my dogs. And then basically I have to walk them, or they basically walk me twice a day. So I get my exercise, you know, half an hour each time, every day. And that, I am certain, is also good for not just my physical well-being, but my mental well-being. In fact, one of the things that the researchers into depression found was that 30 minutes of exercise every day was just as good as one, they didn't mention which brand, of antidepressant. So can you imagine? Exercise, 30 minutes a day, it's free, no side effects, good for your body, makes you healthier, against an antidepressant, branded, well-known, SSRI, what they call SSRI, expensive, lots of side effects, and makes you feel not so good. And after a while, usually the effects of it taper off. So connecting with your support network, exercise, breathwork practice, and hopefully it will help. And if you want to talk more, please contact me directly and we can do it more privately rather than in a public situation. So yeah, so hope you take care and do contact me. I'm very happy if you want to talk, and we can arrange something over Zoom or over Google Meet, and then see how you go. So this is the last of our breathwork practice classes, but as I've said at the beginning, I've been downloading them on Facebook and re-editing them so I can upload them onto YouTube as a playlist, and then you can just watch whichever piques your interest. So thank you for your practice, and hope you all stay well and healthy, and thank you for joining us tonight. We'll be back again on Thursday night with a longer session of meditation and also Dharma talk. So take care and hope to see you then.